Welcome to VDG Sports. I am your host, Vince Douglas Gregory. Hey, it's time for me to just go ahead and start calling out, not by name. I got more respect than that. and I'm definitely not chasing clout. I just want to maintain being a truth teller. And some of these NFL, National Football League experts are the farthest thing from being a truth teller. At best, they're weathermen. At worst, they're snake oil salesmen. Basically, they don't know. We don't know. Nobody knows, honestly, truly, how good or bad a team is going to be at the beginning of the season. Nobody knows. We got an imagination. We can use some context clues. We can decide if a poorly ran organization versus a well-run organization, we can give some the benefit of the doubt or not, and look at the players, look at the roster, and make our best educated guess. Make our best hypothesis on who's good and who's not good. There are multiple factors that come in, like injuries. Injuries can happen. If a team is healthy going in and coming out, that would give you a more likely than not scenario. Then there's the weather. How bad, how good, how perfect, how amazing, how not so amazing the weather is. And that's another factor. But for the most part, nobody truly really knows. If you want to be really real about it, it's after at least 2 months minimum trying to determine and figure out how good or bad an NFL team is. And then it's going to come down to all of the other factors that I've mentioned. How well ran or poorly run the organization is, how the schedule pans out, road or away, whether or not, and injuries, attrition. If you have so many starters missing, so many starters out, how does the backup look? How does the rest of the roster looks? Because you can have an imbalanced roster. You can have all of your money allocated to one side of the field, defense, the other side of the field, offense, but you can't really have a well-balanced team. You can have rookies on rookie deals, young people on young people deal. Then you can have vets. Then you can have a combination of like. But there's no perfect roster. There's holes all throughout in any NFL team, I should say. And then as the season goes on and on, more and more variables come into play. So when you hear an expert say, this team is bad, this team is good, okay, but you can take it with a grain of salt. There's more to the story than just being bad and just being good. And that's why I just laugh at the fact that they call it an expert. If anything, they're NFL, National Football League insiders, meaning they have access fans, fanatics don't have. They can possibly pick up a phone and call a player, pick up a phone and call a coach, or have a conversation with a player, have a conversation with a coach. So they got that inside information of the ins and outs. But that don't make them an expert. What makes someone an expert is doing their due diligence, looking at all of the data, studying the facts, studying the information, and being able to present that back in a cohesive and coherent manner. In other words, you, yes, you, fan, fanatic, you can be an expert. If you put in the time, if you put in the work, if you put in the effort, you can be an expert. You can be just as right, just as wrong as the NFL kind that we call or we look up to. Don't sell yourself short when it comes to that. And that's just a friendly reminder, and that's just me keeping it really, really real, because that's what you get here, the really, really realness. Now, back to your regularly scheduled program. I just had to get that off my chest, and I called out no names. You're welcome, because you know who you are. You're welcome.